Book 27, Love Struck. Now, this one is about Ken Matthews, the star quarterback of the high school football team. He's starting to date Suzanne Hanlon. Now, she found him good enough to get with in the first place, but not good enough to stay with if he doesn't shape up and become a clone of her artsy-fartsy intelligentsia friends who are just so snobby. It's a total mismatch, we all know it. Now, Ken is struggling with schoolwork anyway and has to maintain a grade average to keep playing on the football team. He's about to fail out of one of his courses, and that would take him off the team, and the whole school would know, and he's super embarrassed that they will all think he's an idiot, and also they can't win without him, so he's in a pickle. Now, he doesn't have the backbone to stand up to Suzanne and tell her to take a hike, but he does have the balls to take Elizabeth's work and submit it as his own. Now, Liz had given him a copy of a story she'd written just in her own free time, not for school, no one's seen it. It's just so he can get the idea of how to do creative writing. And he runs out of time and submits it as his own work, and the teacher loves it and wants to print it in the paper, and everyone's going to find out. I mean, especially Liz is going to know it's her work. He's just really over the rack now. But eventually he does man up and tell everyone that, or tell the teacher at least, that it was Liz's work. And the teacher says, right, well, I'm going to have to give you another chance. You've got to pass this course because we can't win without you. And why should the whole school suffer? Because the football team won't win if you don't play. And so here we go with the whole prioritising of sport again. But Ken is kind of a good guy, apart from cheating. And he gets a second chance, and he does tell Suzanne to take a hike and remains happy the way he is. So yay. Book 28, Alone in the Crowd. I really like this one. It is another dumpling story. This time it's about Lynn. She's a new character. She spends her lunchtimes in splendid isolation. Even though she's eating her heart out that no one gives her the time of day, she doesn't give anyone the time of day either until she meets Guy Chesney from the Droids and they start walking home from school together. It's quite clear that these two are meant to be together, and we'll spend the rest of the book yelling at them to open your bloody eyes. Right, calm down for a minute, Starry. Lynn's not really terribly dumpling-ish. She's actually really attractive, but no one knows it because she doesn't wear makeup, and she's a dowdy dresser. And her mum's always encouraging her to make more of an effort, but she has no reason to until she starts getting the hots for Guy. Oh, my dog's groaning. I didn't think I was being that boring. Now, Lynn submits a song anonymously to a droid song contest, and it's really good. And she is really good. She can sing, and obviously she can write a good song. Now, she's really scared to reveal that she has this talent, but she's also scared of getting shot down. So she's just languishing away. Again, splendid isolation. And she's quite lucky that one of the bitches from Sweet Valley High doesn't take credit for her song because it wins the competition without anyone knowing who it is. So I'm surprised Jessica didn't step up and say, it's me. But Lynn sings the song. The whole crowd is wowed. She's popular. Oh, she's been dressing nicer. And she and Guy are going to be all right. Of course. Book 29, Bitter Rivals. This is really good. It's a story of Three's a Crowd. It's a story of Elizabeth's former childhood BFF, Amy, returning to Sweet Valley after years and years away. And Liz is determined that her current BFF, Enid, is going to be best friends with Amy as well. And it couldn't be clearer that Amy's changed significantly, and she really is a contender to join Jessie's posse. She's vain, vapid, boy crazy, thinks that Elizabeth and Enid's favourite activities are boring. But Liz keeps on forcing the issue, even though behind the scenes, Amy has told Enid to piss off, and Enid's not telling Liz how bad it is. She's taking the high road and doesn't have the gumption for a catfight either. I'm not saying catfights are right, but they're interesting. So Liz has no idea. She keeps forcing the issue. Every time Enid is with Liz and Amy, she's miserable, and she has no opportunity just to have time with Liz. Liz forces it to be Amy and Enid all the time. And Amy joins the cheerleading squad, and she wants to go to Lila's big party instead of going skiing with Enid and Elizabeth, which has been set up for her to do. But eventually everything is right in the world. They realise that there's no possible way these three girls can have fun together. They're just totally incompatible. And Enid and Liz embrace, and they're like spinsters together, and all is right in the world. I accidentally deleted every take for book 30, and so long ago that I cannot possibly retrieve them. So I'm working on memory from a book I read 40 books ago. So book 30, Jealous Lies. Sandra Bacon is in Jessica's horrible sorority, which I'm sure exists just so these girls can sharpen their claws ahead of going to college. Now, Sandra Bacon is in the sorority and her best friend Jean is not. Jean is counting on Sandra to help her get in. But Sandra doesn't want her to get in because Sandra has an inferiority complex that Jean is better than her at everything. And the one little situation where she has some upper hand, shout out to Seinfeld fans, you know that hand. It's petty, but we're humans. So Sandra is sabotaging Jean. Now, Jean's pledge tasks primarily involve messing around with this guy named Tom McKay. Now, she has to get him to like her, take her to this big dance, and then dump him publicly. So, well, it's not very nice, is it? Now, Sandra makes sure that Tom knows that Jean's pledge tasks are all about him, so he doesn't trust her, but they're spending time together, and it's quite clear she likes him, he likes her, but they're messing with each other. It's pretty much the inspiration for How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Now, eventually, Sandra's role in this is exposed, so that it's not nice at all. She's in the stew. And Jean has to decide, does she want to be in the sorority or does she want the guy? Not surprisingly, it's Sweet Valley. It's the end of the book. She chooses the guy, but in a rare show of humanity, Lila lets her join the sorority anyway because she feels bad about how bitchy Sandra's been. So that's how bad you are, Sandra, that Lila thinks you're pretty foul. So and it's going to work out, and I have to tell you that there is a book in the future where Sandra's dastardly again, and it's one of my favourite books. I've got that to look forward to. Okay, as you were. Book 31, Taking Sides. Along comes new boy Jeffrey French, and the twins face off as they each try to Svengali their own friend straight into his arms, whether he wants it or not. Now, Jessica is trying to help Lila, who thinks that Jeffrey is hot, and Elizabeth is trying to help Enid, even though Enid's not that fast, and Jeffrey definitely isn't fast. In fact, it's quite obvious that Liz and Jeffrey are perfect for each other. Now, Elizabeth is driving him balmy, though, with her constant pushing Enid onto him, and finally he snaps and lets her know all about it, and she's been feeling guilty because she's been attracted to him too, but she just feels that it's self-sacrificing and she should help Enid, who's lovelorn, but they get their shit together and it ends happily. Elizabeth and Jeffrey and Jessica is entertaining the twins' younger cousin Jenny, who's been staying at the Wakefields' house, and Jenny steals the boy straight out from under Jessica's nose in a subplot that every fan of Sweet Valley High thinks is just too good to resist. Well done, Jenny. Book 32, The New Jessica. Jessica is suffering from an identity crisis. It's not enough for her to be the most gorgeous, sun-kissed, blonde, sparkling, aquamarine-eyed girl in town when there's a mirror image of her standing right next to it. She might as well be living in Elizabeth's shadow, for goodness sake. This can't go on, and no, it will not. After Jessica dyes her hair gothic black and starts wearing far too glamorous clothing to school, and no one slaps her for suddenly affecting a British accent. They just all take that completely lying down. And Jessica is queen of the school. And Liz is worried that Jeffrey seems to be responding favourably to Jess's look, and she's worried that he might now prefer Jess. And she's writing all her feelings down in her journal, which include that she feels really hurt that Jessica is rejecting their twindom. That's deeply affecting her. She accidentally submits her journal to the newspaper. Now, it doesn't get printed because Penny, the editor, knows exactly what it is and that it's personal, and she tries to return it and she gives it to Jessica, or Jessica gets her hands on it, and Jessica finds out how much she's hurting Liz. And plus, Jessica has been trying to win a modelling competition, but it turns out that the judges prefer Liz's looks. So Jessica rushes home and washes out all that temporary dye and turns up looking like a dead ringer for Liz. And Jeffrey clears things up with Liz because he he says, look, I don't prefer Jess's look. It just made it easier for me to know the difference between you because I'm still new and I'm learning the ropes. And I think you are all things beautiful and fair and fairest in the land, and I love you. And Jessica makes it up to Liz, making sure Liz knows that she loves being her twin. And that's another Sweet Valley happy ending, folks.